Following a production process that's been plagued from the very start, Lord and Miller being fired, Alden Ehrenreich needing an acting coach on set, Solo: A Star Wars Story is finally here. But is it any good? Well, let's find out. Now, what is the definition of a good movie? Is it when you leave the theatre feeling quite happy, when you're like, you know what, I was entertained. That was the goal of the movie, to entertain me, and I'm entertained. If that is the goal, Solo: A Star Wars Story fulfilled my preconceptions. I felt like it was going to be a fun movie, and it was. But if you're looking for something a bit more than that, you're going to be disappointed. Solo: A Star Wars Story, it's alright. It's decent. But it's not as good as even The Last Jedi. I know I might get a lot of stick for saying those 3 words. And I don't think it's as good as Rogue One either. I think Rogue One's a good benchmark, especially because it was the first anthology movie. And of course, Solo: A Star Wars Story is now the second. I just feel like you could tell there were problems with the production process. You could tell it was sort of slapped together a little bit. It didn't flow very well. It was far too long, and it's just a bit boring. It really is. You're sitting there thinking, gonna hurry this up a little bit. And you're not supposed to feel like that during a Star Wars film. It's supposed to be like, you know, non-stop action and just incredible scenes and stuff like that. Not to say that it's not a beautifully shot movie. As with basically every Star Wars movie, it has some incredible visuals. The way it starts in particular, the way you're just drawn into it, and the set in Corellia, by the way, is fantastic. I'm so glad we were able to finally see Corellia on the big screen. But it's just, there are more cons in my immediate head after seeing it for the first time than there are pros. And saying that, if I were to give a score straight off the bat, let's not beat around the bush, I would give it probably a 6 out of 10, meaning that I think it's still justified its existence, because I think there's still enough there for fans to enjoy. There's, you know, I don't think you'll walk out hating it. You'll just feel a bit indifferent. You'll be like, meh, that was alright. I guess I had fun. I think the biggest problem with Solo: A Star Wars Story is Solo himself. It was just far too cheesy. Throughout the entire movie, everyone's like, oh, Solo, he's such a great pilot, but why didn't we see him become a great pilot? We see him do incredible manoeuvres, but they're just telling us he's a great pilot. Why not show us him learning how to fly? And then we could be like, oh yeah, so that's why he's a good pilot. I also think they shoved far too much into this, like, okay, let's have him meet Chewbacca, let's have him do the Kessel Run, let's have him meet Lando, let's have him win the Millennium Falcon. It's like, you can leave some of the mystery, keep some of the intrigue and the mystery alive. You don't have to answer every single thing in a single movie, you know what I mean? So, and you know, saying all that, you might be like, so do you wish it wasn't made? I'm glad it was made, and I think Alden Ehrenreich will surprise many a fan with his performance, because it is a bit jarring not seeing Harrison Ford in the role, you know what I mean? And the accent's still a bit weird. His face kind of doesn't look like Han Solo at times, but his outfit, the way he fires a blaster, there are some scenes in particular you're like, that's actually Han Solo, I'll give them that. So I think it was one of those things where Alden Ehrenreich, he grew into the role. The more you watch the film, the more you're like, okay, yeah, that's actually Han Solo. You can tell the bits at the start, maybe the bits that Lord and Miller initially filmed, you're thinking, well, you know, this isn't Han Solo, what is this? But as it gets further on, you know, he gets better in the role, and you feel like, actually, this is more believable. And saying that, I think if I were to watch A New Hope right now, I wouldn't be able to see too much similarities between the characters. I know there's going to be quite a time jump between Solo: A Star Wars Story and A New Hope, but it's just, there wasn't enough in this to shape his character the way he is in A New Hope. But in saying that, they could release another, make this into a trilogy or something, you know. If so, it's still a solid basis for a start of a trilogy. I'm trying not to sound negative here, because, you know, I love Star Wars, I love watching the films, even The most recent ones which have been hated, I've defended because they're still amazing films. You know, take out the Star Wars element, they're still good films. You know what I mean? They're still beautifully shot and everything like that. But this one, I just can't help but feel underwhelmed by it. Because initially when I was like, oh yeah, see in five months' time from The Last Jedi, we're going to have another Star Wars film, you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for another one yet. You know, it's getting a bit much at this point. But then when they started releasing all the teaser trailers, everything like that, I started to get a bit more hyped. They make it look amazing in the teaser trailers and stuff like that. I think they basically show all the best stuff in the teaser trailers and stuff like that. And then when you actually get in the film, you're like, okay, we've got filler here, we've got random chunks here, we've got all this stuff. But I can't say too much more than that without giving away many spoilers. I mean, the other characters in the film, Lando Calrissian, that is pretty much Lando. Awesome job there. I think the rest of the characters aren't too great. Woody Harrelson's character was good. It was good enough. However, the rest of the crew, you don't get attached to. You don't really get introduced to them that well. So when something happens to them, you're like, all right, was I supposed to care? You know what I mean? Like, was I supposed to feel attached to that character? You know what I mean? It was kind of... It's kind of the same thing with Rogue One. It's like, you've got all these characters and let's just introduce them slightly and then feel attached to them, mourn for them and stuff like that. But this time around, you can forget them. You know what I mean? They don't really add too much to the story. But I think, you know, overall, we'll go into the spoilers in a second here, but overall, Solo Star Wars story, it's worth watching if you're a Star Wars fan, of course. But I just think I think you'll be underwhelmed if you had high hopes for this. I think if you didn't have high hopes for this, you'll feel indifferent. And I just hope that this isn't a sign of things to come. That, you know, because they're pumping out all these Star Wars movies, that we're just going to have one every year and then we're going to get burned out and these films are going to just keep going downward. And I am still hopeful for the future of Star Wars, but I just can't help but feel that disappointed by this almost, although it's still a fun film and it's still worth watching and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's go into the spoiler section. So if you have not seen Solo, A Star Wars Story, please click away because I'm about to go into some of the details that you might not want to know if you've not seen it yet. So straight off the bat, Darth Maul. What? That's the biggest takeaway I take from this film. See, when Darth Maul appeared, I was like, shut up. No way. I think if you've watched my channel for an extended period of time, you know how I feel about Darth Maul. I still find it so stupid that he survived. How you know, getting cut in half, falling down a massive pit that's presumably not filled with beds and comfortable mattresses at the bottom, you know what I mean? So him appearing in this film, robotic legs and all, it's just made him even more canon, if that was a thing. Obviously he was canon before in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars The Clone Wars with his new get-up and surviving and stuff, but I don't know how I feel about that. It's interesting where it's going to lead because clearly there's more. Like this film ended with a lot of loose ends still to tie up. Like, that's why I think this could be a trilogy, or there might be a sequel or something like that. Aside from the fact Alden Ehrenreich himself has actually signed another contract or signed to do some more Star Wars films. So I'm interested to see where this is going. I think it'll be awesome actually to see Darth Maul on the big screen actually again with, I don't know how they do it, probably CGI or something like that, but it was quite bizarre. I felt like he was kind of shoehorned in here. I felt there was a lot of fan service. How many call-outs and how many shout-outs, like they dropped names left, right and centre, like Aura Singh, Bosk, they've got all these references and you're like, okay, right, I get it, Easter eggs, right. do we need to go into any more detail in that? I just kind of feel like this whole movie was just was like it was just shoehorned a bit. You know what I mean? Like it didn't flow very well. The opening was, by the way, the aliens and the costume department absolutely nailed it. See some of the and the locations and the new ships and stuff. They always nail it in terms of that. And the opening as well. It was a bit jarring, wasn't it? How you never quite know how these anthology movie films are going to open because they don't have the title crawl. But this one still kind of did have, it had text appear, and I wasn't a big fan of that, to be honest. But it was still a good enough intro. See, as soon as I seen the Star Destroyer being repaired, it's stuff like that I enjoy in Star Wars. It sounds weird, but I'm like, oh, that's cool detail. I've never seen that before. That's nice. The Kessel Run was alright. That's pretty much all I can say. That's not what I thought the Kessel Run would be. You know what I mean? It didn't. I sort of thought it would be more like a race or something, if that makes sense. But no, it ended up running away from the Empire and then get sucked into a black hole style thing and then have to escape a monster. And that's the Kessel Run, apparently. I guess. And as I alluded to earlier, you don't get attached to any of the characters, so when they die, you don't really feel that bad for them. You know what I mean? I was also underwhelmed by the way Chewbacca and Han Solo met. I guess because the whole reason Chewbacca like hangs around with Han Solo is because he has a life debt. Is the life debt the fact that he helped him escape from the little prison cell he was in, or does he just like hanging around with him because he can get money and a purpose? I'm not entirely sure what the life debt is here now. I'm not like, I think in Legends it was done better because Han Solo literally saved his life. Chewbacca was about to croak it and then, alright, I'll save your life. Hang around with me, let's smuggle, you know what I mean? Also, this might annoy people, but L3 is the most annoying character in the entire saga, hands down. I think Jar Jar Binks is more tolerable than L3. L3, it wasn't even funny. This film was not even too funny. A lot of the jokes were forced, and L3, I dislike L3 with a passion at this current moment in time. I don't know about you guys, she's so annoying. Literally so annoying. Every line she said, I hated it. Every time she'd done something, I hated it. She's not my favourite droid in the world. K2SO is far superior. I'm sorry, L3, but no, not a big fan. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about Solo: A Star Wars Story. There's going to be stuff that, when editing this, I'll be like, I wish I said that, but it's forgettable. I've forgot what's even happened in it. You know what I mean? You're probably wondering how I gave this a 6 out of 10 with the amount of criticism I've gave it, but I just, I still think it's a decent film overall. It's still worth watching. It's still visually stunning. It still adds enough to the Han Solo character and to canon, and it sets up enough stuff to make it, worthwhile. But I just think it's just a bit mediocre. It's just, there's not much flesh on the bone, if you like, and some of it could have been done better, to say the least. But yeah, that's going to be it for my initial thoughts on Solo: A Star Wars Story. I'm guessing you've seen it if you've stayed as long into the video as this. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you agree with my opinions on this, and let's have a massive discussion in the comments down below. I will be making plenty of Solo: Star Wars Story related videos over the next coming weeks and, months really. I'll be doing lore videos and some more videos like this where it's just me in front of a camera, maybe listing the things I like most, the things I dislike the most and stuff like that. So if you want to keep it locked to everything Han Solo and just keep up to date with the channel and stuff like that, make sure to press the subscribe button, press the like button if you enjoyed this video, press the dislike button if you disagree with any of my thoughts, and be sure to give me abuse in the comments down below. I always look forward to that. But until next time everyone, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.